So you want to be a nomad. Irony. The good stuff. West goes wandering. I filmed the ugly parts while the weather was perfect and warm. It's 40 degrees and there's a stiff breeze. It's not fast. It's probably 2 to 3 miles an hour, but it is endless and cold. It's just so cold. So, filming in the truck. Good old Icarus. My favorite parts of being a nomad. Oh, there's so much I could get into, but I'm going to hit my tops in no particular order. Sleeping. When I started my original trip just over a year ago, my sleep schedule turned from going to bed past midnight and waking up at 6 to going to bed probably an hour to 2 hours and being asleep after dark and waking up roughly 30 minutes before the sun rose. I thought I was getting sick originally because that felt like a ton of sleep, especially in the winter. But as the summer came, my sleep naturally progressed to be shorter with the days, and it just felt so good. You have no idea. I'm still on this sleep schedule. I've been staying up a little bit later this week, but it's easier to stay up a little bit later and wake. You still wake up at the same time. It's heavenly to sleep like my body was designed to. 6 hours or less a day wasn't it. And my stance on naps will never change. Naps are horrible. I've never felt great after taking a nap. I just try to get through it, whatever tiredness I'm dealing with, until the following day and hope for the best. Diet. When I was working a 40-hour-a-week job that was no less on the best week, 45 hours a week in travel time. Pre-COVID, of course, I had half an hour commute, or if I was getting after it and riding my bike, at least an hour and 10 minutes. It was a long day, and more often than not, I stopped somewhere after work, either to grab something to eat or just do some errands. It really didn't matter, but I was eating restaurant or fast food 5 days a week and cooking for myself on the weekends. Best case scenario. More often than not, even on the weekends, I'd go out with friends and we'd end up eating stupid expensive meals, and it's not the best food you can eat. I don't think I ate horribly. I ate more often and with less reason. I loved to eat. I think I always will, but getting on the road and being out in the middle of nowhere, you have your ingredients and you just make fresh, good food all the time. I don't eat 3 square meals anymore just because I eat when I get hungry. That can sometimes be breakfast, sometimes it's lunch, sometimes it's dinner. More often than not, I eat in the early afternoons. I really like making I call them burritos, but they're a variety of, it's just stuffed in a tortilla. It's not an official burrito. Cheese, meat, veggies in a tortilla. And that's way more wholesome than what I was eating. And I just feel better from that, too. I love being outdoors, and I guess judging from the newest video from Eamon and Beck and even outdoors, I'm doing more overlanding than van lifing, but I'm going to call it that overland life. I love being out here. I'm more disconnected, less social media time, just from not having service or whatever is going on. I just don't engage in like the Netflix. I used to unwind by watching YouTube videos, watching Netflix movies, or playing video games. And now I unwind by listening to birds and I take more short walks than I ever did before. I used to take one walk a day with Lucy, between 2 and 5 miles. 5 miles on a great day, 2 miles on a bad day. I had a little loop I loved. It was roughly 3, and that was my average, but there was a longer route that I could go, and that would be my one walk for the day. I do think it helped, but now I find myself taking 2 or 3 little walks over the course of the day. I just go and do it, and it's so rewarding. I don't always choose the best footwear, but my joints have improved, I think, from that as well. I used to roll my ankle near religiously, and I just sucked all the time, and that's been happening to me less and less. So just being outdoors and seeing the world has been a huge improvement on staring at a screen and watching movies and videos I don't really connect fully to. YouTube was pretty drastically changing that way, because I do connect with a lot of the even tiny creators that I really like on a deeper level, just because I enjoy that material more than a show that's fairly meaningless to me. Looking at you, Brad, and your How I Met Your Mother dumbness. The adventure of it all. The 9 to 5 schedule and the waking up, walking, showering, going to work, coming home, eating dinner, unwinding, going to sleep, rinse and repeat endlessly, I find horrific. And I was bad at it. And I did everything in my power to make my schedule more chaotic, and I like that. Now, I do stuff when I feel like doing stuff other than filming. I try to take this more seriously. I'm clearly not great at it. Working on it. So, always things to work on. But I like being able to do things when I want to do them. That's my favorite part. I eat when I want to eat. I sleep when I want to sleep. I take walks when I want to walk. If I need to go into town, I typically try to schedule that, and I find that gives me some structure that works. That's not going to work for everybody. I've met more people that like their routines than not, but I like doing, the only thing that's constant in my routine is making coffee every morning, and honestly, I'd like to quit making coffee. I just like caffeine a lot. My absolute favorite thus far, and it's going to change a little bit this year, but I have loved I'm still at Lake Mead, and other than Reno, this is the longest I've stayed anywhere on my whole adventure. I typically stayed, I think the longest previous was 5 days in a single spot that I really loved. I'd stayed more over the course of the year because I'd gone back, but ultimately I've done, when I get bored of the scenery or of the place that I am, I pack up and I move and I see a new spot. Even at Lake Mead, I've moved 5 times here to different sites around the lake. I've stayed at this spot the longest because my buddies are still here, and that's been really cool too. It's been so meaningful and awesome to be connected with people down here, because I am getting a little restless of staying in one spot, but the breaking it up with nights of good food. We did travel sushi. We did wild sushi. There are pictures. I can't describe how awesome that was. I don't know how many people have ever done wild sushi, but I have now, and my life is full of more of those experiences in the last year and a half than I ever had with a structured city lifestyle. And holy amazing, I've met so many cool people. um, I just that I stay in contact with, rekindled old friendships. I talk to them fairly regularly now. I hadn't talked to people since college, and now I talk with people on a regular basis who I've missed and who have grown alongside of me, and I didn't realize it. And when you're in college with people and your life is near constant partying, that's kind of what you do, right? And I don't know that that's the best scenario, but it is what it is, and you kind of have this idea of them as a party person, and maybe I think everybody kind of grows out of that at some point after college. Most of my friends have, and it just doesn't really click until you get together with them and see how they're living their life, and you know how you're living your life. Hi, Gooseballs. You're pretty puppers. On the whole, this lifestyle of traveling and seeing new places and hiking every day, just even short hikes, and most of the hikes I take are not traditional hikes that people would describe as hikes. Walking down four-wheel drive roads and being out where other people are not has been insanely rewarding for me. I've loved the vast majority of my time doing the nomad gig. That being said, I understand it's not for everybody. I understand it's a lot harder if you have a family or a significant other. I honestly don't know how you could travel with a significant other and be with them near constantly and not go insane from that. The Kara and Nates and the Eamon and Becks that are doing this full time, hats off to them. They seem to have it together, and that's really cool. But I find myself in a fortunate situation where I had the time, the money, and the inclination to go do this, and I get to be by myself, and that's perfect for me. It's been amazing, and the friendships along the way have been really cool. There's just a lot to be said about that for me. I understand it's not for everybody, but I'm going to keep after it. Thank you to my patrons, and I will see you all on Monday. Go Birds!